Namaste. Welcome to the class. Hope you are doing well. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕ್ಷೇಮವಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಂಬ್ತೇನೆ. We have studied many things about semiconductors. How to create, how to study or how to analyze a semiconductor, and how the type of electrons in the valence band are distributed, and how many valence band are required in a semiconductor. How can you dope it with another impurity? Semiconductors can receive dopant atoms, whereas other materials don't receive it. The energy level should match, and the size of the atom should match with that material. So for all those conditions will get satisfied for semiconductors. That's why you can dope it. When you dope it, you can have many charge carriers. You can have many holes as well as many electrons, both. So when you dope a semiconductor with more and more impurity atoms, the number of increase in the number of charge carriers, either holes or electrons, increases the conductivity, decreases the resistivity. So it becomes a good conductor. You can control the motion of charges. You can control the current in a semiconductor. That's why it finds such a large application. So one of the devices that is constructed using the semiconductors is a semiconductor p-n junction diode, or simply diode. So in the single wafer we develop p and n type, and there is a diffusion of current, and there is a drift of current, and you can use it in a very special way. If you find the symbol for a diode is like this, correct? This is the symbol of the diode. You can forward bias it like this by connecting p side to the positive of the battery and n side to the negative of the battery. When a diode is forward biased, you know, it conducts. It allows the current to flow through. In whatever way you can pass the current, it is allowed to pass through. It acts like a simple conductor. Its resistance is very less. And you can list all the things which you get during forward bias. During forward bias, resistance of the diode is very less. Current is in the order of milliamperes, high current. It is supposed to be high current compared to the diode operation. And width of the depletion region decreases. Electrons and holes cross the junction. Current is diffusion current. Now, the same diode, if it is reverse biased, you know that current is very less, right? Current is less. Reverse bias means negative of the battery is connected to the p side of the diode, positive of the battery is connected to the n side of the diode. Diode is reverse biased. When the diode is reverse biased, the width of the depletion region increases. Electrons and holes can't cross the junction, whereas minority carriers can cross the junction. So they produce a very small current, which is negligibly small, in the order of microamperes. Diode's resistance is very high. So within the breakdown region, it gives very high resistance, current is very low. So we can say it does not conduct. It doesn't allow the current to flow through during reverse bias. Gives high resistance. During forward bias, it allows the current to flow through. Okay. Now, if you have such a diode, it is used as rectifiers. Very important. Suppose you get in practical exams, if you get a Viva question, tell me one application of a diode. Rectifier. What is a rectifier? A device which converts AC to DC. In some of the applications we need the direct current, the current which doesn't change the direction. In some applications we need AC. Of course, whatever is produced in the generating station, like hydroelectric power station or nuclear power station, whatever it is AC, because it is because of the motion of the coil in a magnetic field. When the coil takes 1/2 turn, current flows in one direction in the coil. When the coil takes the rest of the half turn, current flows in the opposite direction. You have studied the dynamo principle in your 10th standard class long back, once upon a time. You may be remembering it. So that dynamo produces current once in one direction, another time in another direction, because coil in 1/2 rotation shows one characteristic, another half rotation it shows another characteristics. So ACs are produced in all the generating stations, alternating currents, and some applications need direct current. So how to convert AC to DC? Diodes play an important role, because they don't allow the current to flow in the opposite direction. They allow the current to flow in only one direction. So output from the diode will be whatever you get the current after passing it through diode will be direct current. Of course, it may be fluctuating, because AC changes the direction as well as fluctuates. It changes the values also. Every now and then it increases, decreases, changes the direction, changes the values. So an AC is always represented by a sine curve. This was what we were discussing about in the last class. So this is AC. How do you, suppose this is voltage, say this is plus 10 volt and this is minus 10 volt. A 10 volt AC, say it is peak value. AC is always represented by another value called RMS value or root mean square value. This is not RMS value, this is peak value of AC. What do you mean by peak value 10 volt AC? Its value may be 0 at any moment, it may be 1 volt, it may be minus 3. So it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, goes up to 10 volt, 9, 8, 7, 6, up to that 0, then minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 10, minus 8, 9, minus 8, like this, 0. This is called one cycle. Starting from 0, going up to 10, reaching to 0, minus 10, 0. One cycle. What about the next cycle? Same thing repeated, like this. Remember, in our home appliance AC, it starts from 0, goes beyond 230 volt, peak value I am talking about. Whatever 220, 230 volt, in common language we talk about the AC amplitude, AC value, that is RMS value. Actual peak value will be more than 230 volt. Say some 280 volts, it goes to 280 volts, 0, minus 280, 0, that is one cycle. Such cycles will be repeated 50 times in a second, 50 times. So such a fast change it is, and it changes the direction, plus and minus, changes the values also, right? Everything is changed, and I want the direction only in one particular direction. I want the current to be flown in only one particular direction. That part is done by rectifiers, circuits or devices which convert AC to DC. How will be the perfect DC? Perfect DC will be like this. Like this, say 15 volts, always at 15 volt. But if it varies like this, increases, and of course it is DC. It is called fluctuating DC because it doesn't change the direction. AC should change the direction, DC shouldn't change the direction. That is the main criteria. So how do you use diodes as rectifiers? In rectifiers there are two types, half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. First we will see half wave rectifier. Half wave rectifier uses a single diode. Now whenever we draw the rectifier circuit, we draw transformer also. See, why do we use transformer? But actual rectifier part is only diode, PN junction diode. Transformer has no role in the rectifying part. Transformer is a device which contains primary and secondary coil. Go back to your SSLC or 9th standard, mostly SSLC, where you have studied the principle of a transformer, electromagnetic induction. When you connect a coil with an AC, changing, so AC symbol is like this, DC symbol is plus and minus like this. This is AC. When you connect a coil with an AC source like this, current through the coil varies, right? So the magnetic field produced by the coil keeps on changing. When the current is highest, magnetic field produced is highest. When the current is 0, magnetic field is 0. Again negative, highest, magnetic field will be highest. So the magnetic field produced by this coil will keep on varying. Just place another coil very close to it. This is called secondary coil. Primary coil, secondary coil. You will get a voltage here also. The change in the magnetic field produced by one coil induces an EMF in the other coil, induces a voltage in the other coil. Any change in the magnetic field produces a voltage in the other coil. Need not keep in touch with them, and you can just keep it very close away. So magnetic field should link to the other coil. This is called electromagnetic induction, where you will study it in a proper chapter. Okay. Now this principle, using this principle, you can decrease the amplitude of AC at the secondary of the transformer. That means you can decrease an AC of 1000 volt to 500 volt, and even you can increase the value of AC from 500 volt to 10,000 volt. How? By changing the number of turns. The number of turns in the primary and the secondary coil will decide whether it is a step-up transformer or step-down transformer. I am just giving the touch to this because you must know what is a transformer. So transformer is a device which increases or decreases the amplitude of alternating voltage. It just changes the amplitude, the value, and it does not convert AC to DC. Its input means whatever we give. Output means whatever we get. Its output is AC, input is AC. Only the amplitude is decreased, or sometimes amplitude is increased. If you have more turns here, less turns here, step up transformer. If you have more turns in the primary, less turns in the secondary, step down. So either you can increase the AC value, decrease the AC value. That accordingly you choose the transformer. Now why do we show transformer in then rectifiers? Because once you convert AC to DC, DC cannot be increased or decreased so easily. If you want to change the AC value, as if you want to change any value, the peak values, change it when it is in the form of AC. Don't try to change it when it is in the form of DC. I don't say you can't change at all the DC value. DC value can also be increased or decreased. It is more expensive and more difficult way. Whereas AC value can be increased or decreased using a transformer. First do that, then convert it into DC. Once I suppose I want to have an output of, so you should have a rectifier here. Say I want to have 10 volt DC. I have 100 volt AC. First convert 100 volt AC to 10 volt AC. Then pass it to rectifier and get 10 volt DC. That is the method. Instead, if you try in the reverse way, convert 100 volt AC to 100 volt DC and try to reduce it to 10 volt DC. Very difficult, because DC cannot be stepped up or stepped down so easily. AC can be stepped up or stepped down so easily using transformer. So first you select what voltage has to be converted into DC. AC has to be converted into DC. Such an AC you prepare it first by using a transformer. So that's why we show a transformer. I said this because you always remember it is not the transformer which is the rectifier. Rectifier is the diode part. Diode acts like a rectifier. So what is a half wave rectifier? Half wave rectifier uses one diode. We want to get an DC part, right? It consists of one diode. Circuit is like this. So first of all I will show a transformer like this. Here we put some two lines because it is a iron rod which is on which the two coils are wound. So this is the secondary of the transformer, and here is the diode, and here is a resistor across which we get the voltage. Output voltage is obtained here. So I call it as load resistor RL. Resistor is actually shown like this, and this is output, DC output. Output is what do we get, and here is AC input. Here we put AC input. AC input, and this is primary of the transformer, secondary of the transformer, diode. RL means load resistance. What do you mean by load? See, whatever you connect to in order to use the power generated by a dynamo, whatever you connect, that is a load. A bulb is a load because it uses the power generated or supplied. Fan is a load, fridge is a load. Anything which is connected to the power supply is a load because it draws current. This is just a symbolic representation of load. This resistance which opposes the flow of current to some extent, that resistance may be the resistance of a bulb, maybe the resistance of a fan, maybe the resistance of a heater, boiler, fridge, washing machine, anything. So you connect it here because you want to use DC, right? Where do you use DC? You may use DC for running a bulb or for operating another device. That is this output, DC output. Here we get DC output. So this is the diode. How does it work? You see, always input is an AC. So this part is the rectifier part actually, not this part. This is only a transformer. But when we show the whole circuit of rectifier, we include transformer also. Job of the transformer is only to step down or step up AC. Its job is not to convert AC to DC. So you must be always remembering. What is a transformer? It's a device which converts, which steps up or steps down AC. Input is AC, output is also AC. But stepped down or stepped up AC. So conversion of AC to DC is done by rectifiers. Okay, this is the rectifier part. So half wave rectifier uses single diode, and it consists of a diode, a load resistance connected as shown in the diagram. Now what happens? What is the input? This diagram is very important. You see, suppose this is a 5-mark question. This diagram and another one output input diagram, that carries most of the marks. Explanation little bit. So this is a very important question. I will write voltage here and time axis here. What happens at the input and the output? I will call it as input VI, voltage at the input and voltage at the output here. Output is obtained here. That current flows through this one. When current flows through a resistor, we get a voltage, right? V equal to IR. Remember this Ohm's law? V is equal to IR. You might have studied this in 10th standard also. V equal to IR. When current flows through the resistor, we get output voltage. This is output, V naught. V naught, I will write it here. What is V naught versus time? What type of output you will get? What type of input you will get? Yes. You know that input is AC. Like this. It varies with time continuously. Now, say this is positive half cycle. Every AC contains 2 half cycles. One positive values increasing and decreasing, negative values increasing and decreasing. So you have 2 sets of values. What happens during positive half cycle? Say in this half cycle, so these 2 diagrams must be drawn in the same page, right? You can't write this in the end of one page and continue this diagram in the next page. No, it should be done in the same page and in the same respective time. What happens, you have to explain. Okay? During positive half cycle of AC, when the AC increases and positive, say the current is flowing like this in this output and in the transformer output. In the negative half cycle, in this part, let us assume that the current is flowing like this, because it should change the direction, right? If the first direction is like this, next direction will be reverse. So if the first direction is like this, if the current is flowing like this, say this is A end of the coil, B end of the coil, secondary coil. In the positive half cycle, if A is positive and B is negative, how should the current flow? From positive to negative. And you know that this is the P side of the diode, this is N side of the diode. Now P side of the diode is connected to positive, N side through the resistance it is connected to negative. Diode is forward biased. So you have to write the explanation now. During the positive half cycle, every cycle contains 2 halves, positive values, negative values. During the positive half cycle of the AC input, A is positive, B is negative. Diode is forward biased. Diode conducts. What do you mean by diode conducts? Diode allows the current to flow through. Whatever the input you give, that is allowed to flow output. So now the current increases, decreases to 0. Same current is allowed by the diode and same voltage is obtained here, because when current increases and decreases, you get the same voltage at the output. So output is obtained like this. As if the input changes, output will also change. When the current is more, it allows the more current to flow through. When the current is less here, or voltage is less, it allows less current to flow through, and that less current produces less voltage here, more current produces more voltage. So as the input increases and decreases to 0, the output also increases and decreases to 0. Now after one half cycle of input, second half cycle comes, that is negative values. What do you mean by negative values? This end is negative, this end is positive. If A is negative and B is positive, so in the next half cycle of AC, A is negative, B is positive, because input is AC. In transformer input is AC, output is also AC. That is the input to the rectifier. When the input to the rectifier AC is negative half cycle, such that A is negative and B is positive, what happens? P side is connected to negative of the battery, N side is connected to the positive of the battery. Diode is reverse biased. Diode does not allow any current to flow through, because it gives high resistance, width of the depletion region increases, but you have to take care that this current is not, this voltage applied is not beyond this minus peak value, should not be beyond the breakdown region, because diode will be spoiled. So no current flows. And of course you will get a very small current in the order of microamperes. That is because of minority carriers. So small amount of drift current get. But let us forget it. It is a very negligible current. No current, no voltage. If no current flows through the resistor, I0, output voltage is 0. No, this is a holiday. When the input is present, no output. Again, new cycle of AC comes. It completes all the reverse values and then again in the forward value, because it keeps on changing the direction. When the AC changes the direction once again, when the current starts flowing in the forward direction again back, this will be positive, this will be negative. Again the diode is forward biased. It allows all the current to flow through. We start getting the voltage here. What type of voltage? As the input increases then decreases, we get again the same voltage, this part. So it should be in the same path, right? Whatever is happening here, in the same time, what is the output obtained? That's how we have to explain. So you can't split these diagrams and write one somewhere, another point. Not possible. In the same, that is called timing diagram. In the same time, what happens? That's what you have to explain. Okay, you get the output. Again, the current reverses the direction. A becomes negative, B becomes positive, and diode is reverse biased. P side is connected to the negative of the battery, N side is connected to the positive of the battery. Diode is reverse biased, no current, and it is just a holiday, right? Working for 6 months and holiday for 6 months. That is like this academic year, right? So you don't have any class for 6 months. Rest of the 6 months you may have full rush of classes. So it's not working like this. 50% efficiency. So you don't get output here. This is the output of AC. Can you call this as DC? Yes, I call it as pulsating DC. What do you mean by pulsating DC? Changing DC. DC increases the value, decreases the value, but doesn't go to the negative value. No negative values are obtained. So you can't call it as AC. It is a DC, but it is not a perfect DC like a constant value like this, always remaining in a steady value. So output voltage and versus time, this is a constant V value. No, but it is pulsating, but still it is a DC. So this is called half wave rectifier, because we get the output only during one half cycle of AC. We don't get the output during both the half cycles. We don't get current during this cycle at all. The whole circuit is it is in the off condition. So output is obtained for only one half cycle of the input. That's why it is called half wave rectifier. But in the rest of, you may ask, sir, what has happened to this this part of the current then? What about the power here? Of course you are supplying something, but you are not getting at the output. That is wasted in the form of heat. So loss of energy is more here. Even though you have converted AC to DC, there is more loss of energy. Now you have to try to get the output even for this negative off cycle. That is done in full wave rectifier. So full wave rectifier is a circuit which gives output for both the half cycles of AC. For this input, for this input, both of them you will get the output. It is not wasted in the rest of the half. So that is called full wave rectifier, and a rectifier which gives output for only one half cycle of AC, only this half cycle no output. Such a rectifier is called half wave rectifier. It uses a single diode. Full wave rectifier uses two diodes, because when one is off, another should be on, right? And when another is off, other one should be on. So one by one they should work in shift method. So this is a whole half wave rectifier. Remember this diagram and these two diagrams. 75% of the marks were carried by them. Then small amount of explanation saying that when positive off cycle of the AC input arrives, A becomes positive, B becomes negative, diode is forward biased, and we get the output enough. Next, in the negative half cycle of the AC input, A becomes negative, B becomes positive, and diode is reverse biased. Diode doesn't conduct, we don't get the output. And in the next, again, when the positive cycle comes, A positive and B negative, we get the output. So we get the output only during one half cycle of AC, and current flows only in one direction, right? No current like this. Only in this arrow mark you can put current. Current flows only in one direction during the resistor. So output is a DC. That's why this is called half wave rectifier. Input output waveforms are shown in the diagram. So you'll get full 5 marks. Now what is a full wave rectifier? Full wave rectifier is a circuit which converts AC to DC, and it works during both the half cycles of AC. Of course it doesn't keep quiet during the rest of the half cycles. How does it work? I will use the same explanation, the same, I will keep as it is. So for a full wave rectifier, you have to use 2 diodes, because when one diode is off, other diode should take the charge. It contains a coil. Here you should use a different type of transformer. Different type means it will contain a center tap transformer. What do you mean by center tap? Center tap means usually transformer contains a long wire wound on a iron core. That's what is shown here. This is iron core. Symbolically it is shown. You have an iron tube over which wire is wound. Iron, not a tube, hollow. It is not a hollow tube. It is a solid rod, or it is in the form of plates and some core is used. Over that wire is wound. Now what you have to do is, you have taken the 2 ends of the wire here, correct, for connection. Now we will take the middle of the wire also for connection. If the whole wire is very long, take the middle of the wire, open it and take a connection. Don't cut it. Take it as a single wire. If it is having some insulation, open the insulation, take a connection. That is called center tap. What do you mean by tapping? Tapping means taking a connection. So center tap transformer. You take a connection from the center of the wire here. C I will call. Now you have 2 ends of the wire and a connection from the center also. Wind it over the iron core. So you have iron core. Connect this to a diode D1. Connect this to another diode T2. So these are the 2 ends. So what we will do with the center tap? We will connect it like this. What you can do is, you connect these 2 together now. See the difference. You don't connect the load here. Wherever you want to wherever you want to use the DC, that is called load. Maybe a bulb, DC bulb, or any circuit. That circuit is not connected directly here. These 2 ends are connected together and a resistor is connected, load RL, okay, and this end is connected here. Little bit different circuit. Some books show this circuit directly. You see, if I keep on pulling this wire, if it is pulled, this resistance comes directly here, right? Isn't it? Keep on pulling this wire from here, this wire. If you keep on pulling this wire, this resistor turns and gets connected here. So why should I have a wire separately here like this, right? So this connection is however is not lost. This diode is here only. So this wire was connected here. Go on pulling it. This resistor comes like this, right? Some circuits show like this. This is correct. This diagram is correct, but prefer the diagram which is in the NCERT book. That's what I suggest. So what we will do here is, this is correct, this is not wrong, but I ask you to prefer the diagram in the NCERT book, because people always refer it and they give marks according to the NCERT textbook. So like this, here you have to connect this. This is load, and here output DC output. See the difference? You study both the diagrams together. Don't study them separately. Study them together. DC output and AC input. Okay, DC output, and here also AC input. Here also AC. This is center tap. I call this as A, this as B, and this should be connected to ground. So earth connection is shown with 3 lines like this. Can you see this one? Oh, you can't see this. Okay. Should I have to draw separately? Hope you can see this, right? One, little bit. Okay. So here I should have shifted it up. I'll shift it up. Do I have time? Yes. So I should have a coil. Yes. And secondary of the transformer, the 2 ends should be connected to 2 diodes, right? And they have to be connected together, and a resistor here, and a center tap with no connection here. You see, it should show a jump here like this, right? This should be a jump here, and then connected to here, and this should be earth connected like this. With 3 lines you have to show. What is earth connection? Grounded. Earth is supposed to be at the 0 volt, 0 potential. Earth connection. See, even in your house you have a earth connection. It is called 0 potential, 0 volt potential point. Okay, so here is RL. So this is DC output, and here is AC input. AC input to the transformer. Here you have 2 iron rods, and that is core of the transformer. This is a symbol, right? This is AC input. Okay. Here also AC input, and this is A, this is B, this is C, center tap. Center tap means take a connection from the center of the coil. This is diode D1, diode D2. Now we will write the direction of current. Here you see the direction of current is like this, like this, like this, right? It is always like this. Sir, won't we get current like this? No, diode doesn't allow. But now you have 2 diodes, D1 and D2. Yes. Now how will be the output? Same input is given. Say this is always at 0 volt. This point is always at 0 volt. Because that is center tap and it is connected to earth. So it is always at 0 volt. Now, at one point, say the positive half cycle, sorry, this is A and this is B. Positive half cycle of the input has arrived. All positive values, input current increases, say 1 ampere, 2 ampere, 3 ampere, 4 ampere, it is going on increasing, but the same direction. When the positive half cycle of the input, say A is positive, B is negative, and this is kept at 0 potential because it is earth connection. Say this is plus 5 ampere, then this is minus 5 ampere, say plus and 0, minus 5 and 0, okay. Now, this side of the diode D1 is forward biased. What about D2? See, P side of D2 is connected. See, there is no connection here. This is a jump. There is connection here, right? This connection is present. But this connection is not present. It is jumped. I think you can follow it. Now, P side of the diode D2 is connected to negative of the input. And this P side of the diode D1 is connected to positive. So, D1 is forward biased. Here D1 is forward biased. What about D2? D2 is reverse biased because P side of the diode D2 is connected to negative. So D2 is reverse biased. What about D1? Conducts. D2 does not conduct. That means current can't flow through this diode. It can flow through this diode. Sir, will it complete the circuit? Definitely. How? See, the current flows through this because it is forward bias. It allows the current charges to flow through now. Current flows like this, like this, like this. Of course, here, through this path. Here it can't flow. Sir, can the current flow through like this and come here? No, because this diode is reverse biased. This diode is reverse biased because its P side is connected to negative the battery. It doesn't allow the current either through like this or like this. So diode D1 is forward biased, current flows like this, it can't come like this, it flows through like this, comes here, through the center tap it can flow like this. So circuit is completed. Current flows in any circuit when the circuit is closed, remember. If the circuit is open, you don't get any current. Current doesn't flow. So like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. Now shall I represent the current direction? I? Load current flows like this. So will you get the output? Yes, because when the input increases and it reaches the peak value and decreases, here also current increases and reaches the peak value and reaches here, the circuit is closed. No current through the diode D2. D2 is off, so you get current at the output. You get voltage at the output because V is equal to IRL. Okay, let the negative half cycle arrive. During the negative half cycle of the input, what happens? During the negative half cycle of the input, A is at negative, B is at positive, and B of the coil is positive and A of the coil is negative. Say this is the situation. Diode D1 is reverse biased because P side of the diode D1 is at negative and it is reverse biased. The P side of diode D2 is at positive, it is forward biased. So D1 is reverse biased, D2 is forward biased, D2 conducts, D1 does not conduct up to this. Now current starts flowing through D2. If the current flows through this one, this cannot come like this and complete the path because this doesn't conduct, this conducts during the reverse of negative of cycle here. So this is minus, this is plus. This diode is forward bias, current flows like this and like this and like this, and this path is closed. Can you see that? So current flowing from here like this, like this, like this, and coming here, no current through this. It should come down and the circuit is completed. So it will come down because this diode is ready to conduct. But what about the current through the load resistor? It is same as before. It has not changed the direction. You see, last time it was flowing like this. This time also it is flowing like this. It flows in the same direction. So where will you draw this output? Will you draw it here? No, it flows in the same direction. Because current, we are taking the output here. Output is taken here. So current is same as the before direction. This output is to be returned in the same direction. Now in the positive of cycle of the next AC, current increases and it is in the forward direction. This becomes positive, this becomes negative. D1 is forward biased and D2 is reverse biased, and the diode doesn't conduct. Which one? This conducts, this doesn't conduct, this doesn't conduct, this conducts. Now again current flows in this direction here and like this and like this and like this. Current flows in this direction. Again the current is in the same direction. You get the output here, right? And in the last, another cycle, it's not the last cycle, this becomes negative and this becomes positive. And when this is negative and this is positive, P side of this diode is negative, reverse biased, and this is P side is positive, forward bias. This conducts. When D2 conducts, current flows like this, like this, like this, and like this. And you get the output in the same direction because current flows through the load resistor in the same direction. And finally, you get the output in the same direction. So you can't put this here because you see the current flowing in the output part, this part, it is always in the same direction, whether this diode conducts or this diode conducts. Whatever be the diode which is conducting, current through the output is in the same direction. So output, the current flows in the same direction whether it is a positive half cycle or negative half cycle. And we get the output during both the half cycles of AC input. That's why it is called full wave rectifier. We get the output for positive cycle as well as negative cycle. And that is why it is called full wave rectifier, and output is in the same direction, current is in the same direction. It doesn't reverse the direction whether this diode is conducting or this diode is conducting. Since the current flows through the load resistance in the same direction for all the half cycles, output is a DC. Now it's not a perfect DC again, it is a fluctuating DC, but this is far better than the half wave rectifier because we were not getting any output during the negative half cycles, but now we are getting output during the negative half cycles also. Sir, how to make it a perfect DC like this? Always the voltage shouldn't go down, it should remain the same. This is perfect DC. What you can do is you have to connect a capacitor. At the output you connect a capacitor. What is a capacitor? Capacitor is one which can store the charge, store the energy. It consists of two metal plates separated by a small insulation gap. Maybe air or plastic or paper, anything, any insulator in between. Two metal plates separated by a small gap. So capacitor can store energy and keep it firm. It is like a tank. You have an overhead tank in your house, right? And the tank contains a ball like this. There is a ball in the tank, and that ball is directly connected to the tap. So here is the tap like this. Now when the ball moves up because of filling of water in the tank, when the ball moves up, as the tank gets filled, the tap is closed. When the ball is here, the tap is closed, water flow stops, and as the water is taken out of the tank for our home appliance use, the ball comes down, tap is open, again it is filled. So that always tank is filled. Similarly here, capacitor stores energy. You see, when the output here increases and reaches highest, capacitor gets charged, and there is voltage available across the capacitor. After some time, the output goes on decreasing. Output decreases, but we get the voltage stored at the capacitor. Capacitor always gives that output. So we get the voltage stored across the capacitor. But as you use the voltage stored across the capacitor, the output keeps on decreasing. But after some time, another cycle comes. Another cycle comes and stores the energy in the capacitor, charges the capacitor. Once again we get output, and again it decreases little bit as we use it. Another cycle comes and charges it. So even as we use the output, since one by one cycle comes at the output, charges the capacitor, output will be always a constant. So you can use a capacitor and you can remove these variations. Pulsating DC can be made as a constant DC, and capacitor is called a filter. What is filter? Filtering means removing, right? What did you remove here? That ripples. Ripples in the sense variation in the DC is removed. So otherwise, if you are using a direct water from the municipality or whatever the supply, sometimes you may not have water at all, right? When the municipality doesn't supply water, you don't have water. Instead, if you have a overhead tank like a capacitor, it always gets filled. As you use water, the amount of water decreases, but whenever the municipality supplies, it will be filled. Similarly, when the output increases, capacitor is charged. When the output decreases, we can use the voltage across the capacitor, so output is constant. When the capacitor voltage decreases as it is used, another cycle comes and charges it, so you will get output voltage. So you will get a constant output voltage. It filters all these ripples. It gives a constant output. So you can use a capacitor filter at the output. So this is the working of course this is only a different part. This much is enough for rectifier part. Here you will get only one more question in the last part. How can you get a steady DC voltage which is not fluctuating? Of course, current is only in one direction, no negative direction. It is a DC, but it is a pulsating DC. How can you convert pulsating DC into a steady DC? By using filters. One of the device used as a filter is a capacitor, and its symbol is like this. It is not like battery. It is the two lines with equal distance. If it is like this, it is a battery. If they are equal, then it is a capacitor. See, it gives a constant output, steady output. So full wave rectifier uses two diodes, and it gives output for both the half cycles of the input, and that's why it is called full wave rectifier. And output at the load resistance flows in the same direction, whether it is positive half cycle of AC or negative half cycle of AC. Output flows in the same direction. That is why it is called DC. So we can use half wave rectifier as well as full wave rectifier. So here you have to explain it, the circuit and the waveform. Of course, they consume the 75% of the mark. Later, during the positive half cycle of AC, A is positive, B is negative. Of course, diode D1 is forward biased. Current flows through A, D1, load resistor and C, like this. A, D1, load resistor and C. Okay. During the negative half cycle of the input AC, A is negative, B is positive, D1 is reverse biased, D2 is forward biased. Current flows through D2, load and C, like this. So current flows through the load resistor in the same direction. So we should put this half above in the same direction itself in the output, because this voltage will be like this way only. It cannot be negative because the direction of current will be in the same direction. Suppose the current was like this, we would have shown the same at the output also, but it may not be so. Current is in the same direction, so output is only in the positive half cycle only. So we get the output for all the half cycles. And if you want to filter the output ripples, connect a capacitor. That's all. So very, very important question part, rectifiers. That's the most important application of a diode. For 5 marks, you have less applications, less sentences to write and more circuit diagrams which should be very proper. These connections and this jumping here and center tab and earthing, everything has to be shown properly. So study this properly, don't waste time. Thanks for listening to my class. We will come up with the different types of diodes in the next class. Okay, thank you. Take care of your health.